What's up? What's up? What's up? It is the Hobby with Cage, episode 238.
Welcome to the Hobby with Cage.
I had to put a couple seconds of intro music. Welcome to the Hobby with Cage. 5 minutes of hobby thoughts today. An interesting thing. I'm watching business do their thing. Hobby business do their thing. And in the last 2 weeks, repacks have really, gotten a lot of headlines. I talk about Arena Club doing their Kaboom packs, and all of a sudden I'm like, wow, that's smart. It's smart for them to do that. Everybody's going to get a Kaboom, and it's tailored, and that's an interesting thing. And then you see Jeff Wilson put out his announcement last week, now leading into the Nationals, about the graded grails or whatever the heck he's calling it. I don't know, the re-PPP packs, or I don't know what they're calling them. But partnering with PSA, and you're like, wow, look at what Jeff Wilson was able to do. He's partnering with PSA. But once it actually got unpacked, to use a little turn of phrase, you realize he wasn't really partnering with PSA. He was just the first one using the PSA service that anybody can use. So is he really, doing anything special? No, nothing at all. And then a couple of days after that, after, Jeff is out there, launching this new hobby-changing thing, days later, GameStop announces their arcade with PSA, which looks like an interesting thing and looks like a game changer. Just think about that. That's 3 big things that happened all in the last couple of weeks in the repack space, right? And that arcade, it's already live. I mean, it's pretty crazy. It's a GameStop, it's PSA, it's boom, automatic, buyback, all kinds of fun stuff. And what's funny about it is, I think to myself, look at these big businesses partnering up. Look at PSA and GameStop partnering up to do this. And I thought to myself, like, wow, if I'm Jeff, where does that leave me and my physical repacks when this is all digital? And the ability to build your own repack out of it, and the ability to just keep it sticky, for lack of a better way of saying it, right? Keep the cards within that ecosystem. If you want your card, you can get it, but I think the goal is probably to just keep those cards floating around in their, in their system and in their space. That was a crazy thing. And like I said, I started thinking to myself, like, is Jeff sitting there saying, hey, wait about that? What about that big hobby changing announcement that I just made? It's kind of lost a lot of its luster with the GameStop announcement. And then I thought to myself, what about Arena Club? It's the Hobby with Cage, brought to you by Arena Club and Bleecker Trading. You guys all know the big news. Bleecker Trading sold. I'd like to sit down with the new owner during National. Maybe we'll see. But Arena, I'm thinking to myself, where does that leave Arena? If you got PSA partnering with GameStop to do repacks, and you got PSA doing certified repacks, Arena, who let's think about it for a second. A couple of weeks ago, we're not talking about months ago or years ago, they were a leader in this ever-changing and ever-evolving space of repacks, tailored, kabooms. They were killing it. Courtyard raises a $30 million funding. They have, a partnership with PSA also. And I'm like, wow, you really have to be, like, constantly evolving, constantly changing, constantly doing, what needs to be done here. And I'm like, wow, Arena, who was leading, what, are they now behind? I logged onto my eBay account today, and I want you guys to just open up your eBay apps on your phone. And what you're going to see is, search for anything, eBay, here's what's new. Maybe you'll have some offers from a seller like I do. And then right there, you're going to have a black label here. See if you can see it. Right there. You see what that says, guys? Rip into the Arena Club slab pack on eBay. You click shop now, and boom, right there on eBay, evolve your collection. Like, I haven't even seen a release about this anywhere. I haven't seen anybody post anything about this. I just happened to find it myself. Pretty crazy, right? Evolve your collection with the latest release from Arena Club. And there's the $250 Arena Club slab packs. You can just buy the pack, and they have new releases that are coming up. Another one coming on August 6th. another one coming on August 13th. Did Arena Club go from first to last to first again? Is this just the tip of the iceberg in what we're going to see in this space with, these companies kind of partnering up? PSA partners with GameStop, and literally 48 hours later on eBay, I'm seeing Arena Club slab packs for sale. It's a pretty crazy space, and I think obviously these repacks, they generate some significant revenue. They generate some stickiness for these platforms. They keep the cards in-house, and they're able to kind of, keep selling the same thing over and over again. It is a very good business model. And, look at that. You have a fun hobby where, yesterday I said we were all dorks doing this, but today you got PSA and GameStop and eBay and who knows what's next. And I remember for a minute there, Walmart was coming in the hobby. I haven't really seen them doing much, but, who knows? TikTok's coming in. I guess we'll see. But that's just, I had to, come on and chat. There's my 5 minutes of hobby thought, because who knows what's next? But there's going to be something next. Is Fanatics going to do their own repacks? PSA going to, keep all this stuff in-house and, start PSA auctions? Why wouldn't you? If everything's in your PSA vault, you just push a button. You can auction that card off. And you don't have to auction it on Golden. You don't have to auction it on THWC/Fanatics. You don't have to auction it on eBay. You just auction it right there on the PSA website. You probably already can offer it for sale or accept offers. The functionality will be there if it's not already there. So, interesting stuff, interesting things going on in the hobby. It's what I thought about today on the eve of flying out to National. I'm not talking about National. I don't want to jinx it. I just got an email from my airline saying there are delays and tomorrow's flights are being impacted by weather. And I'm just going to cross my fingers, show up at the airport, and, hope that I'm not impacted. Because, that would be a horrible thing for all of you if I don't go to the National. It's not so bad for me. But what a letdown for you. And there you go. You know what this show is called?
Thank you for listening to The Hobby with Cage.
The Hobby with Cage. Episode 238. See you guys at the National. Come say hi. Come on, man. Don't be a stranger. You see me? Smack me on the ass. Don't do that. That would be weird. But come say hi. Later.